going to be absent, and actually now that Steve is here, Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. Hey, listen. So if I missed you guys last week, sorry about that. I got some texts from some people saying they weren't going to make it, and yeah. So and then I was not feeling well. I mean, I wasn't sick or anything. I just had a kind of a long week at work, and it just didn't end up
Exhausted. We know.
Yeah. So if you tried to log into the class or tried to join, sorry if I missed you. So
yeah,
anyway,
not a problem with me.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're here now. We can do some Tai Chi. Let me see if I can do one. All right. Let's do something. Let's do some Tai Chi. Let's start. Allow your feet to touch, and then stretch your whole body, just like it's one piece, and you want to relax and make it as tall and straight as you can. Relax your shoulders, and then breathing. Imagine with the space, you have a space in your armpit, and then you're just going to move your elbows, your wrists, and your fingertips. So once you stretch your body all the way out and you relax your shoulders, like I said, feel the space in your armpits, and then rotating your elbows and your wrists, and then let the base of the palms touch first, and then let that whole shape relax. So pull the head top up. Keep stretching vertically, like there's only one, like you have a piece of taffy or some kind of rubber material. It's one piece, it's one unit. And so stretch all the way out. Breathe deep. Connect the tongue to the upper palate, and we're lifting the base of the torso while we breathe. Check to see that you have a half smile, that the corners of the mouth are activated. And then inside of your shoes, grip your toes. Take a deep breath, relax. We're going to start with some just basic breathing. So inhale like you're pulling something up, and then when you get to the top, when you reach, stretch like you're pushing something up. And I would say your palms, but all the way to your fingertips. And then out to the sides. Breathing. Make it a stretch, stretching all the way up and then all the way out to the sides. And then keep your spine vertical when you reach downwards. Make the breathing match the movement. So if you're stretching, your breathing should also be stretched out. And if you're relaxing on the exhale, your exhale should be natural. So remember this feeling, the deep breathing, the stretched, expanded relaxation, because we're going to come back to it in a minute. Do one more, make one more round. And when you finish, bring your feet back together in the center. Bring your hands together in the center. And then recalibrate. Stretch the whole thing out. Stretch your whole body out. Let everything relax. And then check, can you relax your brow? Can you open your vision more? Open your nostrils. Open your whole sinuses. Feel that you can breathe through the front of your face. Activate the corners of the mouth. Keep the chin tucked. Power is going up to the crown through the back of the neck. Relax your shoulders, hollow the chest, open the armpits, and even though the hands are folded here, feel that there's no kink in the hose in the elbow. So this should be, even though it's relaxed, it should still be expanded. Feel the energy between your palms. Feel the energy in your center and your dantian. Relax your tailbone so energy can travel from your heels all the way up your back, over the top, and down the front. Sometimes we say the energy stops at the dantian, but allow it to continue down to the toes. Make a circle for the whole body, coming all the way up the back, all the way down the front. And then relax. Next, we're going to stabilize your shoulders, and I want you to very carefully start to turn your head and neck. And when you do this, I want you to keep feeling the upward push through the crown, through the back of the crown. So almost like keeping your neck straight. And I want you to go very slow and start. This is to stretch the tendons. And so while you're doing this, go back to that bookmark that we set earlier doing Qigong, breathing. Relax the rest of your body. And go back to the deep, long breathing that we started with. And then when you come back to the center, relax your arms, and we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So this is to open the upper body. It's tense when there's stress, when it's temperature change. So when you do these shoulder rolls, imagine that they're coming from the center. So like the motion coming out from the center will affect your rib cage and all of the muscles that are connected, your shoulders. You may feel it radiating out into your arms, the upper arms. Get your neck and your back involved. So feel the whole system is moving from the center. You can relax, keep your tailbone relaxed, and then go back to that same long breathing and the same level of relaxation that you have when you're doing Qigong. And you can make the circle slightly larger, which means you're getting a slightly better stretch. And then with the breathing, all the breathing's through the nose, we're connecting the lungs to that stretching process. So feel as though you can use the inflation of the lungs to expand. Change directions if you haven't. Do some going the other way. See if you can pull without sinking your chin. See if you can pull your shoulders all the way up to your ears and all the way back as if you're going to touch your shoulder blades together in the back, and in the front as if you're going to close together here. And at the bottom, it's a weird feeling like you're pulling downwards towards like you're going to try to pull the top of your shoulder into your armpits. So to make the circle the full size, breathing, and then alternate. So pulling one back while the other is forward. Here, you can turn your whole spine to get your shoulder under your chin, and then pull it back so that it's all the way right behind you. So keep your spine straight, turning. Imagine the circles, the shapes that it make. And the same way that we practice our Tai Chi, we want to make a perfect Tai Chi symbol every time. Imagine the circle that your shoulder draws every time is perfect. And if it's not a circle, that it's a spiral, and that the radial path expands and contracts in a natural way. Come back to the center. Next, we're going to do some turning. So I'm going to face the other direction. Make your feet wide enough to be stable so that you feel that you can sit and that your tailbone can relax. That means the bottom of your spine is sinking. And then we want to push up through the top of the neck so that we're pulling the spine this way so that when we're rotating, imagine everybody goes to the sink and there's a sponge or a rag or some type of cleaning soft tissue at the sink. If you pull it, the water will come out, and if you twist it, the water will come out. And if you do both, that's the same with the spine. So sink the tailbone, push the head top up, and then just turning. And then go back to the same bookmark that we had set earlier for the Qigong. Allow your breathing to become full and expanded. And allow your body to relax in the same way. Forget about your bones as if you're made of just one piece, one thing. One piece of rubber, one piece of jello. And then, keeping your center line stretched, start to shift from side to side. Don't allow your center line to go past so that your hip isn't stressed out. We don't want the hip to go out. We want the spine to go in line. So only shifting, keeping the spine upright. And then next, turning. So plant the rooted foot so that it's solid. The other leg can turn freely, naturally, in line with the body. The rooted foot becomes like a post that goes into the ground. And the other leg is sort of turning around that post. The knee stays in line with the toe, stays in line with the hip. Keep the head top up. Go back to the relaxed breathing and the relaxed body feeling. Next, the same thing. Keep your spine vertical. Relax your tailbone. Sit and sink into the rooted foot so that there's a feeling of upwards and downwards, sinking down to the earth, floating up to the sky. The head top and the hands are going up. The tailbone and the feet are sinking down like a Tai Chi symbol. The black part is on the bottom, the white part is on the top. The black is grounded, rooted, stable, with a solid foundation. And the top part is flying. There's no part connected to the earth. There's no stability. It's constant movement. Perhaps for a picosecond at the top of the arc, there's a moment of transition. Next, this is also turning around the center. So sink into the ground. Go back to the relaxed breathing and relax your body, relax your shoulders. Check to see that you have a very serious expression on your face. Bending at the waist, grip your feet, push your tailbone back away, and stretch your spine out. Your spine includes your neck and your head, so allow the whole thing to stretch with gravity. Grip your feet, use your core, and then go back to that bookmark, the body relaxation, the breathing relaxation. With your feet gripped, can you feel the energy moving in your back? Should move with gravity. Can you push your tailbone further upwards towards the zenith, the high point away from the center of the earth? Can you relax your head and neck, your shoulders more? And just allow the energy to travel. When you're ready, keep gripping the ground. Use your abdominal muscles, relax your back so that you can expand many here don't know what a slinky is? So expanding your spine like a slinky or a big spring. Breathing, reach all the way up like a stretch. Fully inhale, and then relax. We're going to do that one more time. So the same thing, grip the ground. Push your tailbone up and away from the earth. Relax your arms, go back to relaxed breathing. And you can change when you feel your back relax enough that either some of the tendons and muscles start to open and relax, or you feel the blood flow or the chi moving, is it vertically along the back line. And when you feel that, grip the ground, anchor yourself to the ground. Use your abdominal muscles, because we want to think of the spine like a spring that we want to leave undisturbed, but yet stretched from top to bottom. Breathe all the way up, inflate all the way, expand your whole body, and relax. By the way, let's do a couple of those. There's some points, acupuncture points. If you take your middle finger, when we're standing with our feet together, and you allow your hands naturally to fall to the sides, there's a point on the side of your legs, right where your middle finger hits. It's on gallbladder meridian. Unfortunately, I'm not great with numbers. I do know that it's gallbladder meridian, but I don't know if it's 23 or 26, somewhere in there. You'll find it. And it will mention that it's at the end of the tip of the middle fingers here. And it's right on the side of the leg. It's right where you would think, where clothing designers put a seam. If there's a seam there, it's right where you would think. And if you touch that point, and then you just massage, make circles. Make a 1-inch circle, make a 2-inch circle, make a 3-inch circle, and find where it feels tender. You don't even really need to travel that far, because it's organically, it's in the right place for your body. Your body is a fractal representation of itself. So some of these points naturally line up where they are. But you can make a circle and find if there's anything tender. You can use more than that one finger and just massage that point. And then when we step, if you step just a little bit wider, you'll notice you can reach, your fingers reach a little bit further down the leg. And so if we have a certain sort of width, at least shoulder width wide between the feet, meaning here. So if I take my shoulders and go here, I have to get this. And what that means is, at that point, if my tailbone is relaxed with my palms, the center of my palm, this point here, can actually hit that point. Here it can't, because it's just my fingertips. But if I get into a very tall horse stance, or the proper Tai Chi, Chi, the real correct alignment, then that point can hit here. So if we're working our Qi going down the body, we're going to work on that point by breathing all the way up to stretch, and then allow that center point to clap as if there's a hollow space. The Qi is actually, the hollowness is going to hit that space. So breathing, inhale all the way up, and really allow it to hit. For those of you that bruise easy, take it easy on this one. Allow the deceleration allow it to decelerate a little bit before you hit. But otherwise, bring this up and allow it to do its thing naturally. Full stretch, and then full relax. Do 3 more. Fully inflate, and that's it. And then kind of shake your legs out a little bit, allow that to, you can use your hands to kind of massage that area, keep the Qi moving. Gallbladder meridian in martial arts is associated with what we would in the West say if somebody has a lot of gall, right? Your gallbladder, this meridian runs from the corner of the eyes, and it zigzags back around on the sides of the head and goes down all along the side of the body and ends down on the second toe, on the outside corner, I think. The next to the pinky toe. You can look it up in a book more clearly. But this is, in acupuncture, when people get the weak knees from fear, right? When they have to fight an opponent, and their opponent is larger or has weapon advantage, there's some type of advantage, and their knees buckle. This is because the chi in this channel drains out, right? The person loses their gall. And so when we look at the Tai Chi Sansu form that TC taught, the first movement from here is we're putting chi into that meridian. The very first thing is we improve our gall, our strength, our inner courage when we have to deal with the martial arts. So this kind of clapping, tapping, hitting type stimulation can increase the whole channel. This particular point, though, weirdly enough, is for relaxation. And so we have to have enough self-defense feeling, enough feeling of gall, enough inner power to feel strong enough to have self-defense. So, or to feel calm, to have a certain level of comfort and calmness, we have to have a certain level of power in our energy. Let's continue to stretch. Sink your tailbone back, push your foot forward. You can use your knee to support, and then stretch the back and inside of your leg. Reach as far as you can. Remember the principles with your spine. So go back to the Qigong. Long breathing. Relax your whole body. And point either your chin, if you'd like to see where you're reaching, jut your chin forward. And if you want to stretch your spine and neck more, turn your chin down and extend your crown. Push your crown chakra towards past your toe. And lift your toe up towards your nose. Remember to breathe deep. And when you're ready, use your abs and just step forward. And the same thing on this side. Sit your hip right over your foot. Keep your knee in line. Push your tailbone back. Keep your spine straight. Reach. Imagine a line that goes from the back of your crown all the way down your back, all the way down your leg, all the way up to your toes. And make that line as long as you can. So extend your head forward. It doesn't matter if you bend your neck up or down, but keep it stretched. Breathe naturally. Go back to the bookmark. Relax your breathing. Relax your body. You get more of a stretch. Push off your rear foot. Use your abs. Looking up. Breathing deep. Grip your feet. Take a deep breath. Let's, before we start, does anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, ideas, something that you're working on, something that you have a question you don't want to forget? Okay, let's do just the first section. Let's see who's here. Okay, let's actually do the first and second section, maybe up to cloud hands, and maybe we just do the whole second section. Let's see how we feel. But we'll do some Tai Chi to start. So pick a space. If you remember this form, it starts. It's like an L shape. We start here and we have grasp the sparrow's tail and ward off, and grasp the sparrow's tail and ward off, and then we turn to the west and we have all these movements, and then we turn around, and the form kind of ends here. If you do all three sections, it kind of ends in the middle. So if you have a square space, we start on this side over here. Starting in Tai Chi Harmony, pull your head top up, get back into the correct shape. And then internally, connect the tongue, lift the base of the torso, connected to the breathing, and grip your feet. Sink your tailbone into the ground when we open. This is Tai Chi, Chi Chi, the start of Tai Chi. Expand into the ready posture. Your spine is straight. Breathing deep. You turn your waist and your shoulders, your head top, your face is going forward. Square step. Unturn your waist to ward off. Breathing deep. Fancy catch. Square step forward. Facing forward. Grip the ground. Ward off. tailbone back, opening to breathe deep, roll back. Join the palms, turn your spine, press forward. This is press, G. Shift back, push. On. Spine is straight. Keep a circle on top. Look left. Turn the waist, glance right. Chuan, on, double press. Relax your legs. Horizontal split hands goes from one corner to the other corner, and we make that loop continuous into hook, the Ausho. Single whip. Turn the waist, breathe deep. Turning back to the north, the arms fall naturally to a circle. T-sole, elbow and wrist. Square step, brush, roll up, roll down. Breathing, we're turning 90 degrees. This is crane, opening the wings. There's a bounce or a pat from the crane's feathers, and then the wings open with a thunderous sound. Turning, Sowe Pipa. Play the harp, brush past your knee, press to the center. Square, step, back, Twiglu. The crane opens his feathers in the beginning, pats, closes, and expands. Play the harp. Hear the sound. Turning just at the elbows. Keep your back round. Turn the waist. Press forward. Low shi. Ao bu means twist step. We call it C-step. Press forward. Holding the moon in the chest. Punch. I'm going to step backwards. Ban La Shui to the right. Grip the ground. Spine is straight. Lines open. Shui is punch. Corner. Ban. Lan. Shui. One more. Ban. Lan is parry. Shui. Rufon. Sleep. Press. Press. Turning to the north. This is return tiger to mountain. Bring the feet together. Cover the head top. T-step. Square step. Almost like bowling, but palm press to the center. Breathe deep to roll back. Even though roll back is yin, we keep the spine straight. Press. On is push. So U is look left. Yo, pan. Glance right. Breathing deep. Chuan. On. Horizontal. Split hands. From one corner to the other corner of your square. Connect the dots. Hook. This is turn back to look at the moon. If you know ballet, this is called the fifth position. With the feet, the left hand blocks, the right hand covers, the left hand goes through the center. Repulse the monkey. Scoop. Step back. Press forward. Repulse the monkey. Avoid. Make contact. Advance. Down. Press. Opening to the side. Like casting a fishing reel out to the corner. Big ward off, also to the corner. continue the arc into high Dizang. More important to keep your spine straight than to go deep. Sen Tong Bei. Turning. Grip the ground. Block. Punch. Kick. Lan is parry. Shui is punch. Facing forward, head top up. Di Wu Hua means fold knees. Shang Wu Li is change step, roll back. Breathing deep. Press. Relax your tailbone. Push. Go back to the breathing and the body relaxation we had talked about. Chuan An means push, push, double push. Horizontal split hands. Breathing, hook. Side whip. This is cloud hands. Turn right and turn left. Right. Left. Right. Left. The owl show is hook. We'll do one more. Corner whip, turning your square 90 degrees. And then from here, bring your right foot to your left. Bring your hands together in the center. Take a deep breath. Okay, so I want to try to keep the Tai Chi practice in a kind of composite form because we have some people here, beginners. It can be very stressful. I'm also thinking about I'd like to do a more advanced class for people that are interested in focusing on specifics or looking at later sections of the Tai Chi form. The third section itself is as long as the first and second sections combined. So, yeah, that said, I want to talk about something today for Ban Lan Shui because this is kind of a signature of this style of Tai Chi. This lineage came through a fellow named Ban Hao, Yang Ban Hao. Yang being the family name and being the family, the Tai Chi family that this form sort of originates from. And what you'll notice is once you start to learn more about Tai Chi, is that you can start to see different ones have different influences. Our form has crane repeating twice right away. Tells you something about it. In our first section, the culmination is Ban Lan Shui 3 times on each side. This tells us something. Ban Lan Shui. We have Yang Ban Hao, right? This movement is one of the signatures of our form. It appears in other forms and it appears in other usages, not necessarily the way the TC taught. But let's actually review that one from sort of a Tai Chi perspective. So it's coming off of, we have holding the moon in the chest, which is, from martial arts perspective, holding the moon in the chest is a basic boxing exercise. If you imagine a punching bag in front of you, or you have some target that you want to hit, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You can go very fast with it, right? And in a situation where somebody's pressing in, the concept is we only need as much force as long as we're not compressed in the back by a wall or have something blocking us from behind. We only need as much force to keep something away from us as it does to keep it away. So if I want to lean against the wall, I don't have to use a lot of force. Now imagine that my Kung Fu slippers, I put grease on the bottom of them, and I went and stood on a train track, and there's a train, and I leaned up against it, and it starts moving. It can push me down the train track, and the only force that I need to keep that train away is just the weight of my own body with my arm. So this is this circular shape that we're cultivating, is getting the chi to go in those tendons. And so the idea is if an opponent is pressing in on us, right, they're pressing forward, all we need is the power to keep this round shape. That's it. Because we can do this. And also, that shape, even if it becomes very compressed, still leaves us a space where something can come out. And holding the moon in the chest is, if somebody's pressing in, whoa, 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 and we have room for this, right? So this circle comes off of the elbow. So if you grip your feet, relax your shoulders, and then you put your arms out to the side but leave them relaxed, and then just turning the elbow. So keep your hands flat, your fingers flat, paddle hands. Keep your palms open. And when you do this, it may feel weird. You may feel some weird, uncomfortable feeling around your elbow. But you're also rotating. The palms are in, down, down, up, in, back, down, up. So we're rotating in this direction while we're rotating. But I want you to keep it stretched across the frame. So as if from one elbow to the other, the head is going up, the shoulders are relaxed, the elbows are going out, and then everything, like if you know, remember breakdancing from the 80s, they had a movement called the scarecrow, right? It's like this. So as if, like a scarecrow, like your elbows are on a frame, but you don't want to be just like this. You want to be like relaxed, like you're in this circular shape, and then turn your elbows. You can just do grasp the sparrow's tail left and right. You can do them at the same time. You can go opposites, right? Bringing them in, turning them out. But I want you to feel turning the elbow. And then we're going to combine it with something else too. In the Tai Chi Classics, it says that the body uses two great wheels. And it says the waist is like one great wheel. This is why there's a waist turn in every movement. If I have to throw something, if I just use my elbow or my wrist, it's weak. Elbow, better. Shoulder, better. My waist turn brings the power, right? And then it says the small wheel is the elbow. And it says these two wheels in conjunction, if you can imagine a type of Da Vinci contraption that has one cog here and the other cog here, this is the basis of our martial art, is turning at the waist and turning the elbow. So to really break it down. And so holding the moon in the chest is an extension of that, right? Is this kind of, if the power is coming in, all we need is this curvature, just the shape. You don't even need any power. Like I said, if the train is pushing me down the tracks, I can just sit here. This can be relaxed all day. The same thing when an opponent presses in. If we use it on the offensive, this is to cover the opponent's weapons. They have their guard. Maybe they have a knife, right? There's some kind of weapon. We may suffer some type of damage, but we have cover here so that we can move in to do this. And so this circle extends our range and our power to we can use this rotation point to deliver a lot of power in a very small space, right? Holding the moon in the chest. Let's continue. From there, Ban Lan Shui, most of these movements assume that something has gone awry from the previous movement. The Tai Chi form can be used. You can practice individual movements. You can connect them. In the form, we assume that once we've done holding the moon in the chest, this forward hand has been grasped. Somebody has attached themselves to it. So the next movement that we're doing is this scooping, like you're picking up a heavy bucket, because that's this turning. There's two things. We're turning the elbow and the waist together. So I want you to think about these pivot points, right? This turning and this turning working together. And the same thing we said before, the most important thing is the shape. This round shape can be relaxed. So the same thing, it almost doesn't matter how much power the opponent uses. I'm glad Steve is here because he's seen this in the park. You can do a demonstration where someone can hold you, both hands, right? And by keeping the shape and turning structurally, it's super difficult to resist. I've done it where I've had more than one person holding on, right, to do a demonstration to show that the first movement when we have Ban Lan Shui, this is Ban is one of the core components, is someone has attached here, and just staying relaxed but keeping a good structure, we can force their hand to let go. So Ban, and the foot moving forward, my teacher was into locking. He liked to, TC taught almost all of these postures as some type of chin-out, some way to lock your opponent. He and I disagreed with that. I don't like locking. From a martial arts perspective, unless you're police, military, security agency, something that has the authority to actually lock an opponent, you're in trouble, because the minute that you let them out of that lock, the fight is back on. So I don't like locking. I like striking and some other, I like a lot of footwork, kicking. So this, when somebody's grabbing here, this foot, my teacher said, you're locking the other person's foot, and if they're still trying to hold on, their structure will be compromised to where they have to let go and they'll lose their balance. It's a great technique. That's how I teach it. But you could just as easily use that as a kick to step in, kicking in on the shin, anywhere, any martial arts target from the knee down. We don't have big kicks. But in this particular one, it's a sort of foot lock. And the foot shouldn't actually be on the ground, because you're sort of trapping the opponent's foot without actually placing your weight on it. We never put our weight on our opponent, because if we give them that weight to carry, they can drop it, which means we don't actually fully put our weight on our opponent's foot, because they may actually be able to remove that balance point. So we always maintain this rear foot has the balance. When I turn, I can still trap their foot and still retract without getting sucked into if they move their support away. And because they're our opponent, we don't want to be relying on their support anyway. So, step on the foot to trap, press forward, and then we assume that they're gone, so we plant the foot. Lan. What is lan? Parry means to move something. So if your opponent has their guard, right? Somebody is boxing and they're doing this. Lan is trying to break through that. And so you can think of lan as expanding through it, or you can we had talked previously using cloud hands. One has like a G type power, and the other has like an on, like a push type power. And we could even have a palm, like a growing. So the same, we can use, after we have ban, when we do lan, this can be like palm. If it's a strongman competition and you get into wrestling, you may use a slower movement to torque through that and then have the power to punch. Or if it's loose, everybody's playing loose, lan, open, right? You're busting their defenses open so you can get into punch. And so this lan, open, is here. The feet are rooted. The waist is turning and the elbows are turning. We have this double torque coming off these two wheels. Keep the spine straight. I just watched my posture get very bad for a second. Sometimes, by the way, when we play martial arts, it's especially common for men. We want to get into this kind of thing. Far better posture. Anyway, lan, opening on one side, lan, opening on the other. You can do this exercise one-to-one, right? It's very useful, especially if you see your opponent is loose with their weapon. They have a light grip on whatever they're holding. Lan, open, get in. So we said, holding the moon in the chest. From here, lan, lan, and the next one is shui, is punch. And we have to be careful with the word shui, because it's also, shui is also the word for water in Mandarin. So there's a correct pronunciation. I don't know what it is. You can look that up on Google. Shui is punch. And so after we've done the lan is the opener, parry. Parry is, when we think of parry, is move the other guy's weapon out of the way. So after we've done lan is parry. This punch is also the waist turn and the elbow coming together to punch. That's why this is, and we also have this turning, coiling with the hand, the forearm, tibia and fibula turning. And that's also a moving Tai Chi principle. In every posture, the tibia and fibula are rotating back and forth naturally all the time, right? So these are moving Tai Chi principles. We talk about static Tai Chi principles, which keep your spine straight. But now also rotate your tibia and fibula all the time. When you go into the next lan, you'll see I turn my tibia and fibula down. I start to rotate my hands this way. So when I open, I can unroll them, and as they unroll, I can re-roll to keep this kind of turning. It's tough for anyone to stick to, and if there's something incoming, if these are turning, there's less impact, right? So we open, forearms rotating, and then close. So what is this hand doing? Punch. There's a number of interpretations. One of the first things that comes to mind that TC would talk about is like a sight. And some Tai Chi schools, when he would say like a sight, gives you a distance tool. So if my camera is right here and I'm right here, this gives me some distance between here and my target. So I know it's for me to punch here, I better get a lot closer to my target. So it's kind of like he would say, like on a gun, you have a sight. Some Tai Chi schools, for those of you that practiced in Westwood, there was a fellow named Kave that used to come by, and he studied a form that he learned somewhere else. And in their school, for the shui, they would literally punch through. Like this was the sight, and they would punch right through the center of here. It's still Tai Chi, it's just wildly different look. So when we have this, we can use this to block. We can use it as a sight. We can use it as a sort of alignment tool to know where our center is because it's in the center. Lan, shui. This can lift something, move it out of the way, can brush left and right, and it's also yin and yang. We say the hands changing between yin and yang. Lan, they may both be yang. It's like a palm type situation, all parts expanding. And then this one goes to relax. It's just defending or waiting. And this one is yang. It's working to punch. So this is Ban Lan Shui. This repeats. Let's actually do that a few times because I think we're down to we have 12 minutes according to my calculation. So facing the west, or if we're facing, I'm calling this northwest, is we start from holding the moon in the chest. And in the Tai Chi form, we're moving forward, but we can use it either way, moving forwards or back. Ban Lan Shui. Lines, parry, and punch. And then, remember, turn the waist, turn the elbow, keep your upper body structure intact otherwise. Ban means move. Like the same way we would say move that bucket of paint, or move that can of gasoline, move that jar of water. Scoop the handle and using the elbow and the waist, and then hand it right back to the center, to the corner. And then continuing the elbow rotation, Lan, and then Shui is punch. Before we continue, does anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, ideas for all this stuff? Cool. All right, let's actually do a little bit of cloud hands. This cloud hands is easy, by the way, for beginner, for expert. Bring your feet together and relax your shoulders, pull your head top up. And we're going to start by turning the waist to the left so that with the feet together, my arm swings in a straight line across the front. And then bring that back up in front of your face. So like we're drawing a big circle. And then right over here, when you get to the edge of the circle, make the hands going to grasp the sparrow's tail. But it's high. Like we think of grasp the sparrow's tail is down here, but it's up here for this. This is called the owl show. The owl show, by the way, translates directly as like hook hand. So we have hook. And then the same thing, your other hand at the elbow is coming up, and we're cutting this top part of the circle crossways this way. So it comes up and across. And you can make it all nice and smooth. And then the same thing, turn your elbow and your waist, just those two things. Make the movement super simple and press. And then on the other side, just turning elbows and waist. And then step, power coming from the ground. And then when we turn, just my elbows and my waist. Keep your back straight. Keep your, like you're the skeleton like you're the scarecrow on the frame, but the frame has more relaxed shoulders. And then here, the press can shift from right foot to left foot, power goes out. Turn just elbows and waist. And then shift from one side. Feel the power from your foot to your palm. Just the elbow, just the waist. Waist turn. We can extend the elbow a little bit. Step. Press. If we do extend the elbow, we're not pushing straight. That gives the opponent a handle to hold on to. It's an arc. The power goes out and we're already withdrawing. The same way a cat wants it delivers the scratch, retract the claw. So the same. This never pushes out to give a solid structure. There's an arc. And you know as a martial artist where that release moment of power goes out on the arc and when it starts to retract. Blocking, step to press. So this, for grasp the sparrow's tail, for ward off, this turning of the waist, turning of the elbow. Once you see that, you'll see how these, when you watch videos of guys doing Tai Chi, how they can maintain this incredibly powerful structure and still do all of this movement is because they have the shake qua, this folding of the inside hip, which allows their torso to be flat, like the proportion of, for me, is the proportion like a cereal box, right? There's like a rectangle, and there's like a certain, maybe it's the family size now that I'm a little bit older, whatever, but the idea is that there's like a square shape, and the elbows here form this triangle and this circle that we talked about. And so this is the basic movement. Let's close with a little bit of Qigong and cool down. We have 7 minutes left. The same kind of way we started. Allow your feet to open. And breathing, go back to that relaxed state. Go back to the relaxed breathing. And at this point, I want you to imagine the air around you, the chi around you, as something tangible. Like if you've ever got a package that's filled with styrofoam pellets, those things are difficult to clean up because they stick to everything because of the static electricity. But imagine that the air is like really tiny particles of, I was going to say styrofoam, and actually now in this day and age it just might be. But imagine that the oxygen and nitrogen and carbon dioxide and hydrogen in our atmosphere are like those little particles of styrofoam. And that if you allow your body to relax and you feel your energy body more, you can feel your hands moving through them. And then when the hands are coming down, it's like it's floating on the surface of the air. So make everything so relaxed, so light. Reach all the way out to the sides. Let your lungs inflate all the way. And then become soft enough. Allow your skin, your muscle, bones to become soft enough to float on the air. Check to see that while you're floating on the air, you have a very stern expression. It should be, if you were floating, it'd be very relaxed. But the feet are not floating, the feet are rooted. Grip the ground. You can relax your legs so your tailbone can sink, almost like you're sitting. Do one more. Longest breathing of the day so far. And then when you finish that, bring your feet together. Bring your hands together in the center. Put your mind into your dantian. And here imagine, you can use any type of imagination, but the energy, the ideas, sometimes I get into a teaching mode where I deliver a lot of information. Imagine all of that going into your dantian and residing there, all the qi, like a magnet or a whirlpool or some type of collector or attractor that draws all of the energy to the center. And then take a second, you can close your eyes part way if you're inside, outside, take consideration for that. Breathing deep, grip your toes, and put your mind into the center. Take a second to smile at yourself, your whole self. Take a long, deep breath. And then move your mind up into the center, to the heart. Take a second to smile to your heart, relax your heart. One more time up into the center of your brain. Take a second to give thanks to your brain. Smiling to your brain. Allow your brain to relax. Take one long last deep breath. And that's it. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you online.
Appreciate it.